Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. For this video we'll be going through a contents review of the Gundam Age FX Burst, and this was released by Bandai back in 2013 as part of the Mobile Suit Gundam Age line. Being kit number 32, I think the Age FX was very much at the tail end of the high grade line for the Age set. I think there might have only been a few more thereafter. In terms of me and my videos, this will be the formal last one. I do have one more video for an Age kit, but I thought I'd just wrap things up, oddly enough, with the Age FX Burst. Because why not, really? Being a contents review, so the box has been flat packed and stored away, but we'll go through obviously the manual, the stickers and all the runners that are included, as everything is still attached. Before I get any more further in, I'll include links to the FX Burst, maybe even the original Age FX and other high-grade Age kits over at Hobby Link Japan in the description of this video as well. So here we have the manual, Gundam Age FX Burst. So it's effectively the power-up mode of the Age FX. So I dare say it's the Age equivalent of Trans Am, really. So we have Kyo here. So this is pretty much the final arc of Gundam Age with the Age FX. So a lot of these screens of the Age FX in its burst mode, unleashing all its grand power. In terms of, man, these booklets get confusing here. So here we have the front and the rear of the Age FX, with all its effects put in. The original Age 3 suits, normal, orbital and fortress. The particular vegan villain, which I can't remember his name, and his associated suit. It's a shame that they also never made a kit of that, but oh well. Color guide in the bottom. Everything is basically some shade of blue. Or in fact, the main armor is probably more of a light space wolf grey with a hint of blue, but everything else becomes very much blue. Over here we have some more action dynamic poses of the Age FX, the core fighter. I believe that's Sid. And after he assimilated all sorts of things, some mechanisms of the Age FX and the weapons, so the rifle, as well as all the bits of the FX Burst. In terms of the runners, and there's a fair few actually, so we have an A, B, C, which are all fairly large runners. D, E, F and G become smaller runners, two of which are the relevant accessories, E being dedicated as a bit of an action type stand effect. All the polycaps and the sticker sheet. In terms of the build, it is, awkwardly enough, build the core fighter first, build the stand, and then progress through the main torso, the head, the right arm and left arm, and obviously putting that all together. Do the feet, right leg and left leg, the main torso, put that all together. Obviously put the torso and the legs together. Bit of a description of some of the saber effects being used within the wrist, putting the Age FX on the action base as well as docking the core fighter. obviously the rifle in its extended mode, and then the fun part, adding in the special effects during its burst mode, as well as the various bits that can then be included onto the ring, and the ring can be mounted onto the action base. So these particular effects will be unique to the burst. However, the standard Age FX was pretty much all that was included there, so I will admit it was a very full-on kit back in the day, and to be honest, still is. So that's the booklet done. Let's see if we can race through some of these. We do have a bit of a bigger sticker sheet, which is to be expected. A lot of those will be so the green effects for your lenses and background bits, the blues pretty much to color correct parts of his funnel fin bits. Moving on to the runners. Multicolor A runner, believe it or not. There's probably at least 2 tones of blue, maybe 3. So there's a bit of a sky blue, a dark blue, and maybe a even darker blue for the joints. Just looking at the camera now, it does look like there's 3 tones of blue. I will also admit there is a bit of a gloss to the blue as well, so cutting these off the runners will probably be a touch messy, unfortunately, but I guess that's the trade-off for some of these special effects being applied to some of these kits. So that's the A runner. Over to the B runner, which we'll do this way. So this is in that, yeah, dare say a bit of a light shadow grey. It's definitely not white anymore. So that's pretty cool. So that's all in the one colour. Moving on to the next runner, which will be runner C. Going back into one of those darker blues. And we also have the main components of the stand here as well. Don't know if it actually comes up on the camera. Probably does, especially in the base. It does have that slight gloss effect as well. Moving on to the first of the effect parts. So here is runner D, and this is basically translucent blue. So these are the fin bits that were included as part of the original Age effects. So that was the D. Moving on to E. So E's gone into a nice clear. So this is just for various clear bits, so your small beam sabers. Most of this is your action base attachments and some bits for the main torso. For the A, I would imagine. Over to the F runner. Once again, back to the bit of the glossy blue, and most of this is pretty much your weaponry. The G runner, back in that translucent blue, and sadly it is a little bit on the hollow side, so it's not a fully encapsulated piece, but this is very much unique to the Age FX burst itself, so these will pretty much attach onto the kit. Hopefully they attach quite well, because I do know previously some of the bits from the fins were a little loose. And lastly, PC001 polycaps, extended PC001, my good friend the Ono polycaps. And that pretty much brings us to the end of the contents review for the Age FX burst. So definitely a good number of runners to work through. Will definitely be an interesting one, because it has that burst effect, which, as I said earlier, is synonymous with the Trans Am mode of a lot of the Gundam 00 kits. So whilst not super glossy, well, not glittery, I think is probably the better thing to say. Doesn't have the glitter, but it does still have a bit of that gloss effect. So cutting those off the runners will be interesting to say the least. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, there will be links to the Age of X Burst, other Age high grades, and I might even just throw in ever so quickly the original Age FX itself over at HobbyLink Japan if you want to have a further look and maybe check out some pricing to see if it aligns well to your budget. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe if you care to do so. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, same name as this channel. Thanks again for your support to help grow this channel. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.